What I'm doing now is adding up the United States and our closest allies to see how many countries we need to get a young population that is as large as China's. And we're still not even close. The US plus EU plus Canada plus Australia. If we can somehow get all these countries rowing in the same direction, carefully coordinating industrial and fiscal policy, we're still 290 million young people short compared to where China is right now. There's another issue with that strategy because China can play that same game and do it better. This is a map of the BRICS countries, and these countries do coordinate trade and industrial policy and supply chains and logistics and infrastructure investments. Brazil and Indonesia are BRICS countries. Brazil's population under age 40 is 136 million. In other words, Brazil has just slightly fewer young people than we have in the United States. Brazil is worth 7 Canadas. Indonesia, under age 40, is 179 million people in Indonesia. That's about the same as the United States. When Indonesia joined the BRICS, it was the equivalent of adding the United States in terms of productive population size. Indonesia's young population is the equivalent to 12 Australia's, and that's showing up in economic growth numbers there. Australia's economy is barely growing at all, 0.2%. Indonesia's is booming, 5%. Again, one of the most important drivers of economic growth is how many young people are in the population with access to productivity tools to drive new industries forward. And almost all that growth is happening in countries like Indonesia and Brazil, where hundreds of millions of people are joining the middle class. Indonesia's consumer class will grow by 27%, Brazil's by 9%. And these percentages are off a far higher baseline than Canada or Australia, who don't show up on this chart here at all. China's population is falling, but their middle class is growing much faster. To repeat that, China's population is falling, but their economy is growing anyway because of where the productivity gains are going. There's another big problem with focusing only on the headline number, the top line number, because Chinese retirees cost their economy a lot less than American retirees do. Government pensions and entitlement benefits are a call. They're a demand on the incomes of working people. Government pensions in the United States are probably the highest in the world. There are 2 different systems in the US for federal government employees. Half of them are getting an average of $2,100 a month. The others getting $5,400 per month. Our government retirees are also eligible for Social Security benefits and Medicare coverage, and the average entitlement benefit there is over $38,000 per year. That's population-wide, and those programs also cover retirees from the private sector. Social Security and Medicare spending in the United States is swallowing up everything else. The system is already broke, running massive deficits that just get bigger with time. And most Americans are aware of the deep fiscal problems we face. Then we learn that China is aging faster than the United States, so we conclude that China must be going broke even faster than we are. But that's where the thinking on that falls apart. Chinese retirees cost their economy far less in the first place. Chinese government employees receive an average of under $1,000 per month. The average public benefit for private employees is about $535 a month, 3,700 renminbi. That is less than a fifth the benefits paid out by the US Social Security and Medicare systems. Even though Chinese retirees place a much lower burden on government finances, policymakers here can flip a switch and reduce it even further simply by raising the retirement age. Until recently, the retirement age in China was 60 for men and even younger for women. Here, China is starting from the lowest baseline in the world. Push those age limits up, and a lot of the fiscal problems go away. And that's just what they're doing. The higher retirement ages in China will reduce the burden, such as it is, on their public finances, but the benefits to pushing up the retirement ages are actually much greater on the economic growth side, because the most experienced and knowledgeable productive labor in the Chinese economy are going to be on the job longer. This is Foshan, the Riverside Park. Be good.